Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chrisley fans call Savannah downfall of family. Why? Chrisley Knows Best fans are calling Savannah Chrisley the downfall of the family, but what is their reasoning for that? She has been raising her two younger siblings while working and trying to get her parents, Todd and Julie Chrisley, freed from prison. So how is she a detriment? Keep reading for more details. Fans call Savannah Chrisley downfall of family. Savannah Chrisley was known as the blonde bombshell on Chrisley Knows Best. She had her own beauty line, Sassy, a spin-off with her brother Chase, and became very involved in real estate. Even Chase joined her in her real estate ventures, plus she started a podcast, Unlocked, which fans flocked to. Things were looking bright until her parents, Todd and Julie Chrisley, were sentenced to a collective 19 years behind bars. That was where everything took a turn. Their show ran for one more season while Savannah took over the parenting role of her two younger siblings, Grayson and Chloe. Her beauty business ended up falling by the wayside as she became extremely invested in freeing her parents. She used her public platform and her podcast to expose the problems in the prison system, while also reading letters from her parents. After a certain point, fans called out her entitlement. They felt she had no idea what it was like to really lose a parent and suffer. More so, all Savannah did was whine and complain, which had become tired. Although they once wanted the Chrisleys back on television, that was no longer. A Reddit thread was started to discuss how Savannah Chrisley may have caused the downfall of the family. Yes, Todd and Julie are behind bars, but it is their daughter who won't stop talking. The OP wrote this: Chrisley Knows Best fans were over Savannah Chrisley and had no problem expressing this. Yet it was not just Savannah that would make a show hard to watch. None of the family has the cute charm, except for maybe Chloe, Chase, and Nanny Faye. Fans were in support of a documentary of their lives behind bars. However, some did not even care to see sweet Chloe as they felt Savannah had turned her into a brat, which is sad. Many believed Todd and Julie would have to take accountability, and they highly doubted that would happen. In the ever-unraveling saga of the Chrisley family, once America's southern royalty of reality TV, a storm brews louder than ever. While Todd and Julie Chrisley remain behind bars, and Nanny Faye continues to charm fans with her wisecracks and fearless honesty, it's Savannah Chrisley, blonde, bold, and unapologetically vocal, who's caught in the crosshairs. Lately, fans have been murmuring a bold accusation. Savannah is the downfall of the Chrisley family. To the outside world, Savannah seemed like the glue holding it all together when everything began to fall apart. She took custody of her younger siblings, spearheaded podcast interviews, and fought publicly for her parents' release. But some longtime viewers, and even former allies, now say that beneath her polished veneer lies a troubling trail of choices that shifted the family's fate forever. So what happened? From princess to powerhouse. At the height of Chrisley Knows Best, Savannah was seen as the princess of the family, glamorous, charming, and just rebellious enough to keep things interesting. But as Todd and Julie's legal troubles deepened, Savannah pivoted. She stepped up to the plate, seemingly turning into the family's spokesperson overnight. She rebranded herself as a beauty mogul, podcast host, and inspirational speaker, often using her platforms to air grievances against the justice system, the media, and even distant relatives. Some fans admired her hustle. Others began to see it differently. She went from grieving daughter to influencer overnight. One fan commented on a Reddit thread, "It started to feel more like a brand move than a family crisis." That's where the whispers began. And as Savannah continued to step into the spotlight, those whispers became something louder. Accusations that her decisions, attitude, and ambition may have Savannah's podcast, Unlocked, was initially seen as a brave move. A young woman using her voice to tell her family's side of the story. But her episodes soon became lightning rods of controversy. Whether it was her off-fan jokes about prison food, her dramatic retellings of courtroom drama, or her subtle jabs at estranged family members, listeners began to feel that she wasn't just telling the truth, she was spinning a narrative. "She throws everyone under the bus except herself," wrote one former fan on X, formerly Twitter. Even Todd never aired the family's dirty laundry like this. Episodes that hinted at sibling tension, vague comments about betrayal, and passive-aggressive remarks toward the media only added fuel to the fire. And when Savannah made statements suggesting that her parents were victims of a broader conspiracy, some fans began to worry she was detaching from reality entirely. A rift in the family tree. While Chrisley remained quiet and more elusive, fans noticed tension between Savannah and extended family members, particularly Lindsay Chrisley, Todd's daughter from his previous marriage. Though Lindsay had long been on the outskirts of the family circle, Savannah's harsh tone toward her sister in interviews raised eyebrows. "She's keeping the division alive," another fan commented. "She talks about forgiveness, but practices none." Even with her younger siblings under her care, some critics questioned if Savannah's focus had shifted too far from family to fame. Social media posts from private jets, beauty brand launches, and red carpet appearances, all while her siblings Grayson and Chloe were adapting to a radically new life, struck many as tone-deaf. Was she really keeping the family afloat, or using their tragedy as a personal springboard? Money moves and missteps. One of the biggest criticisms hurled at Savannah is her continued attempt to commercialize the Chrisley name. Whether it's launching her beauty brand while her parents were being sentenced or filing trademarks for phrases like Chrisley Strong, fans began to wonder if she was more concerned with monetization than legacy. "She's trying to build an empire off a broken name," one fan wrote on Facebook. "It feels desperate." Even Nanny Faye, beloved by fans and usually tight-lipped, seemed to throw subtle shade during a recent interview. When asked if she thought Savannah was doing a good job, she chuckled and said, "Well, she's doing something, that's for sure." Fans ran with it. And then came the Netflix rumors. Whispers swirled that Savannah was pitching a reboot of the Chrisley story, this time with her as the lead, and the tone shifted from comedy to raw docuseries. Some insiders claimed it was Savannah's idea to pitch it as a redemption arc. Others said it was just a vanity project in disguise. Is it fair? Still, the question remains, is it fair to call Savannah the downfall of the Chrisley family? After all, she didn't commit the crimes. She didn't testify. She didn't sentence her parents to prison. In many ways, she's carried an enormous burden for someone her age, raising siblings and managing the emotional wreckage of a family in public disarray. But to fans, it's not about blame. It's about perception. They feel the spirit of the Chrisley brand, once centered on love, humor, and the power of family, has shifted under Savannah's reign into something more combative, curated, and commercial. What once felt like a loving, if dysfunctional, Southern clan now feels like a brand war led by someone who might be too close to the battlefield to see the full picture. "Sometimes the loudest voice isn't the strongest one," said a former fan in a viral comment. And in trying so hard to lead, Savannah may have lost the plot. The final verdict? Whether fans are being harsh or hitting on an uncomfortable truth, one thing is clear. The Chrisley family isn't what it once was. And at the center of that transformation is Savannah, fearless, fiery, and polarizing as ever. To some, she's a fighter holding the torch in the darkest hour. To others, she's the reason the light dimmed in the first place.